Hi to everyone, welcome back to another video episode on production and cost chapter. See, in last class we were in the discussion of the topic called short-run production. So the production levels were classified under two heads. First one is called short-run production and second one is called long-run production. In the short-run production, as you already heard the meaning, there is a relationship between fixed factor with the variable factors to give the kind of output, where some factor made as fixed and some factors made as a variable. And the variable factors work with the fixed factor, and as long as when there is a positive relation between the fixed factor and the variable factor, returns will be under a positive. Then that the stage is called increasing the returns. When the fixed factor feels burden with the variable factors like labor and other the capital equipments and all, then the capacity of giving the result of fixed factor will get downturn. Then that is called diminishing returns. Now coming to the third one, so when fixed factor become insufficient to work with the variable factors, when fixed factor become outdated or overrated with the variable factors, then it feels too burden, it cannot give the positive results. Then that the results are known as a negative returns. Just observe on the board here on the right side of the screen. So on the first stage, as long as fixed factor is under a good condition, it gives the positive results, and the diagrammatic representation of it were made as a increasing returns, where total product, average product as well as a marginal product all are getting under positive zone. It means they are under increasing returns. But after the third unit of labor, even though returns are under increasing, but they are increasing at a decreasing rate. The reason is very simple. Fixed factor, what we have made as a 4 acres of land. Within that 4 acres of land, we are increasing the labor factor with the intention of increase the quantity of output. That is not possible as long as when variable factors increases the particular limit. So after the third to the sixth unit of the point of labor, the quantity of TP, AP and NP were under in positive but increasing at a decreasing rate. Then that the stage of production is called as a diminishing returns. Here the fixed factor feels a burden with the variable factors. It cannot give the kind of what kind of results which is already given under a first stage. When it comes to the third stage, here the third stage which we used to call it as a negative returns, because additional labor what we are employing, additional the factor what we are employing at every stage, like from 6th, 7th, likewise, even though TP under positive, but additional quantity of output, extra input which leads an extra output, it falls to the negative zone. That's what is also called as a negative returns. The story of this chart analysis is very simple, but the thing is, as long as the fixed factor with the variable factors have a positive result, then the things will undergo under increasing returns. When the fixed factor feels burden with the variable factors, then the things will get slowly get down. If it overburdens the quantity of the variable factors with the fixed factor, then the things will get negative returns. Now we can observe here. So when a producer with the intention of increasing the quantity of output, he will increase from 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, likewise he will increase in the quantity of number of labors with the fixed factor. As long as fixed factor with the variable factors is a good, the things under positive one, then that is called increasing returns. When it feels burden, the things will get down. Then when too burden with the variable factor, then the things will get negative returns. The quite common example we can take with the vehicles, with the buildings, number of story of buildings. Okay, so we can take any of the factor. If variable factors with the fixed factor feels any kind of a burden, then the things will get down, and even if it's more burden, the things will lead to negative returns. Then this is the diagram. You must remember what is the shape of TP. He may ask for 1 mark or 2 mark. Okay, so what is the shape of AP or what is the shape of MP? When you go by competitive exams after the PU, after the degree, so directly they'll ask somewhere in the competitive exam, so in long run production or in the short run production, what is the shape of MP? They may ask. So MP, be remember MP stands for marginal product. It has an inverse U shape. Which shape? inverse U shape. Even if you take the AP, then that will take the inverse U shape. That is the story is very simple. Because of the fixed factor, the variable factor, the level of quantity output will get down due to the capacity. One cannot extract more than the actual limit of production is concerned. So we'll enter to the next stage of production, and that is called long run production analysis. Long run production analysis and short run production analysis. These are the two equally weighted topics of this chapter. In short run, we have already heard the stages with the diagrammatic as well as the tabular representation of it. But when it comes to the long run production, you must understand the first meaning and the stages involved in it. Okay. Long run production stands here. Producer has a sufficient time to increase the quantity of output. Here, long run production analysis refers to it's a relationship of all the variable factors to increase the quantity of output. Here, the producer will find n number of sufficient time, a long term, to change all the factors into in his favor to increase the quantity of output. So he will not only change the variable factors into in his favor, even he will change a fixed factor into a variable factor. It means to go for a mass production, to increase a large scale production, he cannot fix the border, only this much of land, this much of labor, this much of capital he can use. For a long run production, for a long run survival, a producer must have a long term use of all the factors. In such case, all the factors can be made as a variable. Even there is no limit for the land, no limit for other variable factors. Then that is all about the long run production. In the long run, one can even also call it as a mass production or economies of scale. When producers start producing at a larger quantity, then the cost per unit will get decreased, because in the large scale production, like you take any of a heavy industries or heavy large scale production units, they will bargain with the main suppliers. When they buy the quantity of goods at the larger quantity, then meantime the cost of per unit will get down, where we talk about only two types of cost which are involved in the long run production. The first one is called LRAC, long run average cost, and long run marginal cost. So we'll have a discussion of this topic when we enter to the cost part of it. But now, long run production were again classified under three stages. So first one, increasing returns to scale, increasing returns to scale, which is known as IRS. Okay. Second one is about constant returns to scale, constant returns to scale, and third one is about diminishing returns to scale. Scale. Now listen carefully. Coming to the first one, increasing returns to scale. Increasing returns stands here, due to the large scale production, quantity of output is greater than the quantity of input. It means producer, when he has a sufficient time to change all the factors into in his favor, then moreoverly he will change the quantity of output in an increasing way. Even the input were limited to use, but the quantity of output will generate more than the actual input. Then the other point is called increasing returns to scale. Now coming to the next one, constant returns to scale. Constant returns, where the quantity of output consistently same in the production process, then that is called constant returns to scale. It means the proportionate change in the quantity of output is equal to the proportionate change in the quantity of input, then that is called a constant returns to scale. But it's the quite opposite of IRS. Coming to the third one, that is called diminishing returns to scale. So here the proportionality, the percentage change of output is less than the percentage change in input. All the three we can express in single diagram like this. When quantity of output started get increased, then those stages were classified under three stages. So coming to the first one, okay, under this, when the quantity of output is greater than the input, it means that when producer starts producing any kind of a commodity, he'll buy the quantity of raw materials and the required raw materials and everything at the larger quantity. When he buy larger quantity, the cost of per unit, cost of additional unit will get down. When the cost decreases, then the quantity of output increases, then this is called increasing returns to scale. So on particular time, the levels of returns will be equal. So that the stage is called constant returns to scale. Due to the uncontrollable factors like so natural calamities or something went wrong, or any kind of a government rules changes, then all of a sudden that affects on the production unit. Then the cost start increases, then the returns start diminishes. Then that is called decreasing returns to scale. In the large run production or large scale production, you will never find any kind of negative returns, because producer has a sufficient time to change, to create any kind of a magic in the production process. For that purpose, we cannot add the negative returns, because he has invested crores worth of money, lakhs together or crores together of money to go for the large scale production. Either he may suffer from increasing returns, either he may suffer from a diminishing returns or constant return. It never falls to negative results. For example, when you observe the stock market like this, you might have seen the ups and downs of the market. Then this is called increasing returns, then this is called decreasing returns we can call. What about the increasing and decreasing the point? Then the point is called constant returns to scale. It's a transition period between the first and the last stage. Likewise, ups and down, ups and down, ups and down. Certain level will be a constant. Then that's the stage where the firm consistently earn the same amount of a profit for 1 or 2 or 5 years. The profit neither be increased nor decrease. Then that the stage is called constant returns to scale. But anything is under favor. The things when the cost down, then the returns start increases. Then that is called increasing returns to scale. Due to uncontrollable situations, due to any kind of a natural calamities or pandemic issues or any kind of a present or any kind of a last pass, any kind of problems like government tax rules or any kind of government changes or any kind of natural calamities occurs or any kind of a huge amount of damage occurs in the business, then that condition the firm will get suffer from a diminishing returns, because one has to meet increased amount of cost. When cost rises, then the returns decreases. So these are the three stages are there of a long run production. First one is called increasing returns, and this is the increasing returns where the proportionate change of output is greater than the proportionate percentage change in inputs. But where the proportionate change output and input, if it is equal, that is called constant returns to scale. When it comes to the third stage of a long run production, where the proportionate change in output is less than the proportionate change in the input, then that is called a diminishing returns. So once again, I just wanted to tell you here, when producer has a sufficient time to change all the factors, then he don't want to suffer from any kind of a negative results, because every factor in his favor, every factor he can change as and when the time leads him. In such case, a producer will never face any kind of a negative results. For example, you can see the giant players in the market. So either they are under increasing returns or decreasing returns to scale, but they never go for a negative returns, because of they are the large producers in the market. They are not going to suffer from any kind of losses, because they have n number of tactics to play with the market, any kind of forces. So I hope you people got understood. For any doubts, you can contact me. You can have a description button. In that you can find my contact number. If any of your doubts, I'll kindly reply to it. Thank you for watching.